Hello fellow gamers, this is Eddie with the Gamers Next Door bringing you another episode of Monday Memories. In this episode we bring you Final Fantasy VII for the PS1. A role-playing video game developed by Square, it is the 7th main installment in the Final Fantasy series. The game was originally in development for the Super Nintendo, but due to technical difficulties they moved it to the PS1 to take advantage of the CD-ROM format. Series creator and producer Hironobu Sakaguchi, director Yoshinori Katase, and composer Nobuo Uematsu returned to make this game what it is, a masterpiece. With the upgrade from the Super Nintendo to the PS1, the team decided to take advantage of the PS1's 3D capabilities, and instead of using 2D sprites, they opted to make the characters full 3D. You need to understand that back in those days it was a big deal for gamers of that era. Looking at these 3D characters on these beautiful pre-rendered backgrounds was amazing. Doing this gave them the advantage of using different camera angles for a more dramatic approach and realistic presentation with great character animation as well. The other big upgrade was the utilization of FMV cutscenes. The real-time cutscenes featured polygon models on both the pre-rendered backgrounds and FMV cutscenes. One of the most memorable sequences is when a real-time model of Cloud jumps onto an FMV rendered moving train. The backgrounds were created by overlaying two 2D graphic layers and changing the motion speed of each to simulate depth perception and realism. The story in Final Fantasy VII is not your average Save the Princess story. It's actually full of interesting characters that make it one of the best stories in any game. From the main protagonist Cloud to the main villain Sephiroth and everything in between, all of the characters are very well represented. From start to finish, the player will experience a very mature story that is full of emotions. I don't want to speak about the story too much because there are players that will play the remake for the first time. I hope you guys enjoy this story like we enjoyed the original one. On the gameplay side of things, this game was the one that introduced me to turn-based RPGs. Before that I was always more on the action side, but now this is my favorite way to play RPGs. The gameplay of Final Fantasy VII is mostly comparable to earlier Final Fantasy titles in Japanese role-playing games. The game features 3 modes of play: the world map, the field, and the battle screen. The player explores the entire world in a 3D map. There are different areas for the player to enter, including towns, environments, and ruins. Some other areas in the game are inaccessible, but you eventually get different vehicles that help you traverse those areas. Chocobos are back, and they also help you get to different areas that are not accessible by foot or vehicle. You can talk to NPCs, explore the entire map, and even engage in mini-games. Battles take place on a 3D space that are triggered randomly when the player explores the map. Each character on the screen has a time gauge. When a character gauge is full, the player can input a command for that character. The commands change as the game progresses and are dependent on the characters in the player's party and their equipment. Commands may include attacking with a weapon, casting magic using items, summoning monsters, and other actions that either damage the enemy or aid the player's characters. Final Fantasy VII also features powerful character-specific commands called limit breaks, which can be used only after a special gauge is charged by enemy attacks. After being attacked, characters may be afflicted by one or more abnormal statuses such as poison or paralysis. These statuses and their adverse effects can be removed by special items or abilities. When all the enemies are defeated, the battle ends and the player may be rewarded with money, items, and experience points that later can be used to level up characters' abilities. The other part of this amazing experience is the music. The musical score of Final Fantasy VII was composed, arranged, and produced by the master composer Nobuo Uematsu, who had served as the sole composer for the 6 previous Final Fantasy games. Nobuo's approach to composing the game's music was to treat it like a film soundtrack and compose music that reflected the mood of the scenes. With this, we have one, if not the most memorable music score in video game history. The music is so well integrated with the visuals that change the mood of the game depending on the situation. Example is when you are in a battle, the music is exciting and it gives you that feeling of being a boss, or in a sad situation like when we lose someone, and those who play the game know what I'm talking about. It's a sad feeling accompanied with a sad soundtrack. To this day, the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack still holds up, and I can't wait to see how they remaster the music for the remake. Final Fantasy VII is a game that was very special to me personally. I was 17 years old when I played the masterpiece and it helped me get through a lot of difficult times. I can't wait to get back and get immersed in this amazing world. We are going through it right now, and I think that a game like this can help some people get through all this craziness. If you want to experience the original these days, you can find it everywhere from PC, PS4, PS3, and there's even a Nintendo Switch version. I will guarantee you will have a great time. What are some of your memories of Final Fantasy VII? Sound off in the comments below. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe at The Gamers Next Door on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. This is Eddie signing out, and as always, happy gaming.